Hi everyone, it's Emelyne from SweetEmelyne. So today I'm super excited for this video. I'm going to be making Hotel Transylvania Cupcakes. I'm sure you guys know that Hotel Transylvania 2 is coming out very soon. I am super excited to see it. So making cupcakes for the movie just fit in perfectly for today's video. So if you guys would like to learn how to make Hotel Transylvania Cupcakes, then just keep watching. I'm going to show you guys how to make easy cupcakes. For this, you guys will be needing 1 egg white, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1.5 tablespoons of milk, 1/4 of a cup of flour, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. So what I love about these cupcakes is that it actually only makes 2 cupcakes, and I think that it's really fun because if you're just having a quick craving for cupcakes, you guys can easily make these. So first I'm just starting off by mixing the eggs and sugar, and then I added in the rest of the ingredients, and I'm continuing to mix this up until everything is incorporated. So now that our batter is done, we can take 2 cupcake liners, I got these from TJ Maxx, and we can begin to add in our batter. We can place these in the oven and we can bake these at 350 degrees for 12 minutes. Since we're making 3 cupcakes for this video, I just doubled the recipe for extra cupcakes. This is what they look like when they are done. And as far as frosting, I decided to use the Wilton white decorating frosting because it'll be easy to use for these cupcakes. So first we're going to start off by making the mummy. So for him, we'll be needing green slime, a Wilton piping bag, a piping tip, our cupcake, and black and white frosting. So here I'm showing you guys how to make the black frosting. I'm just taking some black food coloring from Wilton, which I got at Michael's. I'm adding it into the white frosting and I'm mixing it together. We can set this aside, and here we're going to be taking our white frosting and adding it into our piping bag. And in the piping bag, I have a Wilton number 104 tip. So we can just add in a spoonful of the frosting and push the frosting to the bottom of the piping bag. Once we have that, we can set it aside, and here I'm taking a spatula and adding on our black frosting that we made. I'm just adding on a little piece of it so that it can be the background of his eyes. So now we can take our piping tip and begin to make a bandage-like looking frosting. So this obviously will start to look like his bandage, and I think this tip is super good at making it look very realistic. Now I'm going to be taking the green slime and just creating 2 circles for the eyes. This cupcake was so simple to make, and I think it looks just like the mummy. Next we're going to be making Winnie. She is the one in the middle. She is so adorable. So for her we're going to be needing blue fondant, brown sprinkles, pink sprinkles, and some white frosting. Here I've just frosted my cupcake, and I'm adding in the brown sprinkles into a bowl, and we can dip our cupcake into it. So now it looks like she has some fur. So here I'm just taking a Ziploc bag and opening it up, and now I'm going to be adding in a spoonful of white frosting into one of the sides of the bag. I'm basically just replicating a piping bag here, so you guys can use a piping bag if you want. Now I just cut off a small tip so that we can create the eyes with this. So I'm just squeezing out 2 dots on the cupcake for the eyes, and that's what it will look like. Now I'm going to be taking the blue fondant and creating the blue part of her eye, so just making some small blue balls and adding it on top of the eyes. Next I'm adding on these pink flower sprinkles, which I got from Michael's because they are easy to replicate her little binky or pacifier that she has. So I'm just placing those on there. You guys can use frosting if they don't stick. Now I'm just taking the 104 tip and I just created some ears on the side of her. And I topped it off with some brown sprinkles. Our last cupcake will be making Dracula, so for this we'll be needing black and white fondant, blue food coloring, as well as white frosting. So here I'm just taking the blue food coloring, which I got from Michael's, and I'm adding it into the white frosting. And once we have that, I'm just going to begin to frost the cupcake with a spatula. Now I'm rolling out some black fondant. Once we have that done, we can take an empty cupcake liner and use it as a cookie cutter to cut out a circle. Here I'm going to be cutting out a heart shape, so basically it's just the top of the heart that we're going to be cutting out, and this is going to be used as his hair. Now that we have that, we can add it on top of our cupcake, and I think that he is starting to come to life. Now we're going to be taking some white fondant, and we are going to just take 2 circles of this, and we can begin to mold this into balls. These are going to be used for his eyes, so once we have that, we can flatten them out a bit. Now I'm just taking some black fondant and basically doing the same thing, and we're going to put this in the middle of the white. Now we can add these on to the cupcake for his eyes, and I think that he looks super cute so far. Now I just took a piping bag and just added in some of the blue frosting, and I'm just making a nose, and I'm also making a smile. Last but not least, I'm just taking some white fondant and I'm just pushing this down to make it flat. Then we can take a knife and begin to cut out his teeth, and for his teeth I am just making 2 triangles. Now that we have that, we can place his teeth on top of his smile. Once his teeth are on, he is done, and I think he looks just like Dracula. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment down below letting me know what type of video you guys would like to see next. If you want to see more fun videos like this, then be sure to click around and subscribe to DreamWorks TV. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!
You're gonna kind of take a bite out of it. Just a little scoop. And then we're just going to stick in some chocolate-covered sunflower seeds. And this is gonna kind of be like apple seeds. Just 2, right on the side.